Hi, this is Rich Eiler with the North Point Group. Today I'm going to talk about some recently completed research by Horses for Sources, HFS, on what they call the great talent paradox in outsourcing. Their research findings show that fully two-thirds of enterprise outsourcing buyers are struggling to achieve any genuine business value beyond mere cost reduction and efficiency. Based on our own experience in the trenches with clients and service providers, we concur with the HFS research results and are disappointed with them that too many service providers continue to focus their value propositions in the selling and delivery process on labor arbitrage and process efficiency. As HFS points out, outsourcing is much more than a transactional contract. It is an ongoing partnership that requires leadership, insight, and collaboration between an enterprise customer and its outsourcing services provider. We agree that buyers and sourcing providers need to invest in developing the talent that actually fuels the performance of their outsourced functions and processes. But we also believe that buyers and service providers could quickly arm themselves with a process, methodology, and product that would enable the partnership beyond education. There is a solution that's been used hundreds of times effectively throughout the contract lifecycle. From new customer after down select, in other words, pre-contract, with current customers during implementation, and with dissatisfied customers. The solution is called Outsourcing Value Analysis, OVA for short. So what is OVA? It is an objective assessment of the entire sourcing relationship. It's a repeatable methodology to identify and quantify risk and value opportunities. It is proactive and has predictive intelligence. It's a prescriptive product to address identified risks and prioritize activities based on ROI to create a risk mitigation plan. The software and database identify the fundamental business activities that are most important for maximizing value. The fundamental business activities in the software are supported by steps, tasks, and processes that are weighted in terms of importance to the success of the relationship and value attainment. Stakeholders give a consensus score on each of approximately 140 steps, tasks, and processes during a facilitated session. Stakeholders where it's completed in a few hours. So, what does OVA do? Well, it prioritizes identified risk and value opportunities that are then provided to improvement teams to work on the root cause, solutions, and implementation. It identifies irritants to be addressed before they become larger issues. It provides a collaborative process to identify and develop new value opportunities based on analytics compared to best in class. Encourages enterprise innovation that leads to strengthened relationships. It provides an approach and an environment for continuously monitoring areas of potential risk and reward. And it enables key stakeholders to gain alignment on outsourcing strategies and value expectations. So, what is the impact? Well, you can see the difference between the baseline assessment day one versus the fourth assessment, which is approximately 270 some days out. You can see the scoring from the customer and service provider at the original baseline as it moves over time relative to overall performance, issue management, and communications. So, scored performance from 66 to 68% from the outsourcing team, but more importantly from the customer team of approximately 43 to 72. So the performance is getting better. You can see the difference in communications from the mid-50s to the upper 70s and upper 80s. And you can see the number of issues being addressed once the organizations realize there is a process to address issues. The issues go up and then eventually go down. Beyond that, the ROI for improvements made to the outsourcing agreements have ranged between 22 to 26%. The data in this slide is based on approximately 44 customers where the service level agreement was scored at 85% or higher and where the agreement was in the 2 to 5 year range. In addition to the value for the customer, there's value for the service provider. And you can see at the bottom of this slide the incremental increase in outsourcing revenue, the percent. So the scope is increased for the outsourcing provider. They're providing more value. The customer is asking them to provide more services, and for the consulting revenue. So significant impact for both organizations. So how does this work? Step 1, we run a baseline value and risk assessment session. It's a facilitated session with key stakeholders, approximately half a day. It could be done together or it could be done separately, depending on the circumstances. In this session, the statements, the steps, tasks, and processes are scored. Now they're scored on a consensus basis, and key issues and discussion points are captured. So once again, it can be done jointly or separately. Step 2, the baseline gap analysis. So now that we've run this and we have the scores, now we can compare this to the best-in-class database compared to other organizations at this point in time. Step 3, value risk solution session. Once again, it's a facilitated session with the key stakeholders. Approximately half a day, could be done once again separately or jointly. Step 4. Step 4, assuming that the sessions are run separately, is around closing the gaps. So this is where the customer and service provider teams meet to identify the issues and, more importantly, identify the action steps, responsibility, and time frames to go resolve them. Because of the collaborative nature of the sessions, there is a deep understanding, buy-in, and follow-through across the organization. And finally, step 5, checkpoints. These can be run on whatever intervals that are desired, typically 90 days. So that's the process. Now, what is the value? So, the process, the OVA process, methodology, software, and database substantially increases the alignment and support of the business and its leaders due to real value being delivered. It increases the understanding across both the internal and external customers as well as the service provider. Increases key stakeholder ownership of the outsourcing improvement initiatives. It increases buy-in and follow-through on the assessment recommendations due to the collaborative process. It also identifies and mitigates risks associated with doing business with the service provider. Increases knowledge of the internal business unit's customers' real needs, unmet and unidentified, to create new value propositions. Identifies opportunities for real process transformation. Improves common data definitions, accuracy of the data, business processes and costs, and improves what we call the CAP, the knowledge, experience, and performance of the entities. It also identifies opportunities for other capital reduction opportunities. It improves the overall enterprise performance. So, ROI, once again, improvements associated with this range between 22 and 26%, significant impact. Finally, once again, we believe that buyers and service providers could quickly arm themselves with a process, methodology, and a product that would significantly improve the partnership while the education process is being implemented. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please go to the NorthPoint website, www.thenorthpointgroup.net, and you can see representatives of the NorthPoint organization that can be contacted to address any of your questions. Thank you very much.